The mist hung so low over the city that the rooftops looked like islands drifting in a white-gray sea. No one really knew why it never lifted. The oldest residents claimed it had been here long before the first houses were built. Some even whispered it had been here before humans ever walked these lands. Lina, 27, dark-haired and sleepless-eyed, stood at the window of her small attic apartment and stared into the milky wall of fog. For days now she'd had the strange sensation of being watched, not by someone, but by something. That night, she heard it for the first time. A deep, distant calling, like the toll of an ancient bell drifting through the narrow streets. No church bell rang at this hour, and no bell she knew sounded so unsettlingly alive. A chill ran through her. She grabbed her jacket and stepped outside.
Chapter 2. The Men Without Shadows. The streetlights flickered as Lina walked down the main road. The mist thickened, swallowing her footsteps, swallowing her breath, swallowing even her thoughts. Then she saw them. 3 men stood in the town square, motionless. All wore long black coats and wide-brimmed hats that hid their faces. But the strangest thing, the thing that made Lina's pulse spike, was this: they cast no shadows. She took a step back. One of the men slowly lifted his head. A cold gust swept across the square, even though the air had been still. "You heard the call," the man said, his voice echoing as if from a deep cavern. "So you seek answers." Lina's throat tightened. Who are you?" "Holders of the gate."
Chapter 3. The Gate Beneath the City. The men without shadows led Lina behind the old church to a forgotten well. Its stone cover was carved with symbols she had never seen before: circles, spirals, and a single eye without a pupil. "Beneath this city," the holder began, "rests a door that must never be opened. For centuries we have guarded it, but in recent weeks it has begun to move." "Move?" Lina whispered. "Yes," he said. "Something on the other side is trying to break through." A low rumble shook the ground from below. Lina stumbled backward. "Why did you bring me here?" she asked. The holders exchanged glances. The youngest answered, "Because you are the last one who can seal the bond. Your blood is connected to those who closed the door long ago." My blood?" Lina stammered. "I'm just a bookseller." "To this city, you are far more."
Chapter 4. The Chronicle of the First Ones. The eldest holder unrolled a small leather-bound scroll, ancient ink, crumbling parchment, and a name written across the top, a name that made Lina's heart stop. Elira Morgenthau, Lina's great-great-grandmother. "She was one of the first," he said, "founder of seal magic. When the gates to the Mist Realm burst open 400 years ago, she was the one who closed them. But mist consumes time. For the creatures beyond the veil, only an hour has passed." "And now they want to return," the youngest murmured. Lina shook her head. "Why me?" The elder holder pointed at the faint silvery marks on Lina's wrist. Thin lines like old scars that had never healed. "Because you bear the same mark Elira did, the mark of the binder."
Chapter 5. Beneath the Veil.
They pushed the stone lid aside. Cold air surged upward, carrying a whisper that made Lina's bones ache. A spiral staircase wound into darkness. "You have a choice," the elder said. "Turn back, and the city will fall when the gate opens, or descend and reclaim what was lost." Lina stared into the dark. The call echoed again, louder this time, urgent, pleading, almost familiar. She tightened her grip on the handrail. "I'm going down." And she descended into the heart of the mist.
Chapter 6. The Echoing Stairs. The stone staircase spiraled downward far longer than Lina expected. With every step, the temperature dropped. Her breath floated in front of her, trailing into the darkness like fading smoke. But the deeper she went, the more she realized something unsettling. Her footsteps had begun to echo too late. It was as if the sound bounced back only after a delayed pause, repeating her steps out of rhythm, like another pair of invisible feet was walking just behind her. She froze. The echo stopped, too. When she moved again, the echo returned, but slower, as if whatever was following her didn't want to be noticed. Lina swallowed hard and gripped the cold rail tighter. "I'm not alone down here." And the mist below answered with a soft, almost playful hiss.
Chapter 7. The Chamber of Names. At last, the staircase opened into a massive stone chamber. A soft blue glow pulsed from the walls, like the slow heartbeat of some ancient beast. In the center stood a pedestal carved from black stone. On it lay a massive book. Its cover was made of darkened leather and chained to the pedestal by iron links. Lina stepped closer and brushed the dust from its surface. The title appeared slowly, as if written by an invisible hand. The Book of Names, Lost to the Mist. The moment she whispered the title aloud, the chains rattled violently, but then loosened. The book opened by itself. Inside were hundreds of pages, each filled with names, each name crossed out with a heavy black slash, except one. At the bottom of a blank page was a single glowing name: Lina Morgenthau. Her blood ran cold. "Why is my name here?" she asked the empty chamber. A whisper answered, "Because you were never meant to leave the mist."
Chapter 8. The Being in the Mist. The mist in the chamber thickened, gathering in the corners like a living thing. Slowly, a shape formed, slender, tall, and shifting like smoke in wind. Two pale lights emerged where eyes should have been. "You carry the binder's blood," the being said. Its voice was layered, like a chorus speaking through one mouth. "You do not know what that means." Lina stumbled back. "Stay away from me." The creature tilted its head, its movements unnervingly smooth. "We are not your enemy, child. The holders have told you only half a truth." "And what's the whole truth?" Lina challenged. "That the gate was not built to keep us out." The creature leaned closer, its voice dropping to a whisper. "It was built to keep one of you in." Lina's heart pounded. "What does that mean?" The being pointed at her wrist, at the silvery marks. "Those are not seals. They are shackles." Chapter 9. The First Betrayal. The chamber trembled. A booming noise shook dust from the ceiling. The creature recoiled. "They come," it hissed. The holders rushed in through a hidden tunnel, their coats whipping in the windless room. Each held a long metal staff that glowed with a sharp white light. The eldest holder pointed at the creature. "Step away from her, wraith!" The creature hissed like steam hitting fire. "Lina, do not trust them. They're the reason your ancestor was bound." "That's enough," shouted the youngest holder. They struck the ground with their staffs. A circle of white fire shot outward, forcing the creature back. It screamed, dissolving into swirling clouds. But before it vanished, its final words echoed. "The truth is carved in the lowest chamber, beneath the gate, beneath the bones." Silence fell. The youngest holder turned to Lina, his expression darkening. "You must forget what it said. Wraiths twist every truth." Lina stared at him. "If they lie, then why did the book have my name?" None of the holders answered.
Chapter 10. The Door of Bones. They led her deeper into the underground tunnels. The walls changed from stone to something else, something pale, uneven, and ridged. Lina ran her fingers over it. Cold, solid, rough. Bones. The entire tunnel was lined with bones. "The first victims," the eldest holder said quietly. "They were consumed by the mist before the gate was completed." "Consumed?" Lina whispered. "Some say," he continued, "they still whisper to those who pass through. Ignore them." But the moment he said it, Lina heard faint voices in the walls. "Lina, turn back. Find the truth." She shivered endlessly. At last they reached it, the gate. A towering structure of carved bone, twisted together like ribs forming a cage. In the center was a circular opening covered by a shimmering barrier of silver light. Cracks now spread through the light like spider webs. "It's weakening," said the youngest holder, "and you must seal it, now." "How?" asked Lina. "By giving it what it wants." The eldest holder turned to her slowly. "Your blood." Chapter 11. Blood of the Binder. Lina stared at the gate as the silver barrier pulsed like a dying heartbeat. "You want my blood to fix this?" she asked, voice shaking. "It is the only way," the eldest holder replied. The youngest stepped forward, withdrawing a small curved blade from his coat. The metal shimmered with the same pale glow as the barrier. "This will not harm you," he said gently. "It will only awaken what sleeps in your veins." Lina stepped back. "No, not until you tell me the truth about Elira." The three holders exchanged a silent look, one filled with hesitation. Finally, the eldest spoke. "Elira Morgenthau did not close the gate." Lina's heart stopped. "What?" He continued. "She tried, but she failed. Her power was too strong, too wild, too connected to the mist realm. She became a bridge, a living conduit." "That's not what the wraith said," Lina whispered. "It said she was bound." "She was bound because she chose to be," the eldest holder shouted. His voice cracked like thunder. He regained control and added quietly, "She sacrificed herself so the rest of us could survive." Lina moved closer to the gate. The cracks in the barrier glowed, reaching toward her like eager fingers. "But why is the gate opening again?" she asked. The eldest holder hesitated.
We believe Elira's binding is fading. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the chamber. The silver barrier flared violently, and for a split second, Lina saw a silhouette on the other side. A woman with long hair, floating weightlessly. A woman with her face.
Chapter 12. The Shattered Voices. The vision vanished. Lina staggered back. What was that? A memory, the youngest holder said, grabbing her arm. The gate shows fragments of her past, nothing more. Lina tore her arm free. Don't lie to me. That woman looked like me. That is because she is your blood, he said. The resemblance is strong. But Lina's instincts screamed that wasn't the whole truth. The bones lining the walls began to rattle. The whispering voices grew louder. The truth lies beneath. Lina covered her ears. Stop it! The eldest holder shook his head. They remain restless. Pay them no mind. But Lina felt something else beneath their whispers. A message hidden beneath the noise. A single word. Run. Chapter 13. Cracks in the Light. The gate began to pulse faster. Boom, boom, boom. Each pulse sent a crack streaking farther across the barrier. The youngest holder thrust the curved blade toward her again. There is no more time. Give your blood before the gate breaks. And if it breaks, Lina asked quietly. The chamber trembled again. This time, dust fell from the ceiling. Bones shifted. If it breaks, the eldest holder said grimly, everything Elira died for will be undone. Lina clenched her fists. You're asking me to trust you, but I don't even know if Elira chose to be bound, or if you forced her. The three holders stiffened. Then the middle holder, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke in a low, tense voice. It was not us. Lina turned. Then who? His eyes drifted toward the gate. The ones who built it. A shadow moved behind the barrier. Something tall, slender, and eerily familiar. Chapter 14. The Mistborn Woman. The barrier flickered, and suddenly a figure pressed against it from the other side. A woman. Her hair floated weightlessly around her head. Her eyes glowed silver. Her hands pressed against the barrier like someone trapped underwater. Elira, the eldest holder breathed. The binding is nearly gone. But Lina's blood froze. The woman wasn't looking at the holders. She was staring directly at her. Lina, the voice echoed inside her head. Soft, broken, desperate. You must leave this place. Lina stumbled back. She spoke to me. Did you hear that? The holders shook their heads sharply. She cannot speak. She is trapped in a sealed temporal state. Whatever you saw is a manipulation from the mist realm. But Lina's instincts told her the opposite. The pounding in her chest grew stronger. Lina, Elira whispered again, a voice like fading starlight. Do not trust. The barrier convulsed violently. Elira was thrown back into the mist, and something else stepped forward in her place. Chapter 15. Something Comes Through. A new silhouette appeared beyond the cracks, twisted, tall, shifting like a broken reflection. A clawed hand pressed against the barrier. The holder stepped in front of Lina instantly, staffs raised. It's breaching, the youngest shouted. Hold it back, the eldest barked.
The staffs crackled with white fire. They thrust them toward the gate, forming a glowing shield. The barrier shook, sparks flying like shattered stars. But the cracks widened, splitting outward toward the ceiling, toward the floor, toward Lina. A deafening roar filled the chamber. The eldest holder turned to her, eyes frantic. "Now, Lina, your blood!" But Lina wasn't looking at him. She was staring at the thing behind the barrier. Because, beneath its shifting shape, beneath the writhing mist and claws and impossible limbs, she saw the outline of something unmistakably human. Someone she recognized, someone she had lost long ago. "Dad?" she whispered. The creature froze. Then the barrier exploded.
Chapter 16. When the Gate Breaks. The explosion was silent. No thunder, no shattering. Just a pulse, a blinding flash of silver mist bursting outward like a rippling shockwave. Lina felt the world tilt, her vision twisted. The chamber stretched like liquid glass. Then, boom! Sound returned all at once. The bone walls cracked. The ground split open. The holders were thrown backwards like rag dolls, their staffs flickering out. And through the splintered gate, something stepped into the world. Tall, shifting, wrapped in coils of mist and shadow. But Lina didn't see its monstrous shape. She saw only the face buried deep inside the swirling fog, a face she knew better than her own reflection. Her father's face. "Dad?" Lina whispered again, her voice breaking. The creature shuddered. Its mist churned violently. The human face flickered like a dying candle, pained, straining, desperate to reach her. "Lina!" The sound was distorted, like a voice echoing from the bottom of a lake. "Don't come." He reached out a trembling hand, and for a moment, just a moment, the mist around him softened, revealing the man she remembered.
Chapter 17. The Holder's Secret. The eldest holder staggered to his feet. "No!" he shouted. "You must not speak to it. That is not your father." Lina turned, furious. "I know his voice." The holder raised his staff again, now glowing with a harsh, burning white. When a human is touched by the mist realm, their image becomes a lure, a trap. It shows you what you want most. "I'm not imagining this," Lina cried. "He disappeared when I was 11, into the mist during that storm. You all said it was an accident." The youngest holder caught his breath. It wasn't an accident. The eldest whipped his head around, eyes blazing. "Do not tell her that." "You lied to me?" Lina demanded. Her father, if it was him, stepped closer. The mist twined around him, shaping into almost human limbs. "Lina," he whispered, They knew the mist would take someone that night. They let me disappear because I tried to free Elira." The holders froze. Even the creature froze. The words hung heavy in the air. "You're lying," the eldest holder growled. "Mistborn things twist memories to break the binder's spirit." But Lina could see the truth in their faces and in her father's haunted eyes. Chapter 18. The Memory Storm. Suddenly, the mist around the creature surged toward Lina. "Wait!" the youngest holder shouted, but too late. The mist wrapped around her like a whirlpool, cold as metal, soft as breath. Her vision blurred, and then she saw it. A memory. Not hers. Her father's.
She stood in a forest at night, heavy rain hammering the trees, lightning split the sky. A younger version of her father, breathing hard, terrified, ran through the woods, clutching a torn book to his chest. Behind him, 3 shadows pursued him, 3 men in dark coats. Voices echoed. "Stop him! He cannot be allowed to reach the gate. Elira's seal must remain intact." Lina watched in horror as her father stumbled, fell, and mist rolled across the forest floor, swallowing him whole. He reached out, screaming her name. Then darkness. Lina gasped, and the vision shattered. She fell to her knees in the chamber, trembling violently. He wasn't lying. You chased him. You let the mist take him." The holders said nothing. Their silence was confirmation.
Chapter 19. The creature. Her father knelt beside her. His misty hand reached out, hovering inches from her cheek. "I am not whole," he said softly. "I am not the man you lost, but a part of me remains, enough to know you are in danger." Lina's throat tightened. She wanted to touch him, to feel something familiar. But the eldest holder thrust his staff between them, snarling, "She is not yours. She belongs to the gate." Her father's form twisted, the calm mist turning into a violent storm. "You do not own her," he roared. His voice boomed through the chamber, a layered echo of human and not human. The walls quaked, bones shattered. The silver light of the gate flickered to life again behind him. And then Lina saw it, a second silhouette forming inside the gate's depths. A woman, long flowing hair, silver eyes. Elira. Only this time, she wasn't calm. She was furious.
Chapter 20. The Second Awakening. Elira's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. "Enough!" The mist exploded outward, sweeping the holders off their feet and slamming them against the walls. Lina shielded her eyes as Elira stepped fully through the gate, her hair floating like smoke. Her presence made the air hum. Every bone in the chamber vibrated. Even the mist around Lina's father recoiled and bowed. Elira looked at Lina with ancient, burning eyes. She said, "My daughter's daughter, you were never meant to stand before this gate." Lina's voice trembled. You're alive?" Elira stepped closer. "No, I am a memory given sheep, a fragment that the mist could not devour." She placed a glowing hand on Lina's wrist, and the silvery marks flared to life like molten fire. The bones in the chamber shook, the mist screamed, the holder scrambled away in terror. Elira whispered, "It is time you learned the truth." She turned toward the holders, and time they answered for their betrayal.
Chapter 21. Elira's Judgment. The chamber fell into a tense, trembling silence. Elira stood between Lina and the holders, her presence radiating a cold, ancient power. She was neither flesh nor ghost, but something in between, a memory with a heartbeat. The eldest holder staggered to his feet, gripping his shattered staff. "You should not exist," he spat. Elira's gaze burned him where he stood. "I exist because you lied, because you bound me against my will." The youngest holder shook his head desperately. "That isn't true. You asked us to seal you." Elira's expression darkened. "I asked you to seal the gate, not me." The chamber shook with the force of her words. Lina could hardly breathe. They trapped you? Elira turned to her slowly. They feared what I had become, not corrupted, awakened. Her silver eyes softened, filled with grief. I saw the truth of the Mist Realm, a truth they could not allow this world to know. The middle holder stepped forward, trembling. We were trying to protect the city from you. Lina's father snarled, the mist around him flaring. You protected nothing. You doomed us all. But Elira raised a hand, stopping both sides. No more lies, she said. Lina must hear everything.
Chapter 22. The Lost History. Elira reached into the air as if cutting through cloth. A tear opened, a window of memories shimmering like moonlit water. Inside it, Lina saw the past. 400 years ago. Elira stood on a wind-swept cliff, wearing robes of silver thread. Behind her swirled the Mist Realm, not chaotic, but beautiful, a world of drifting islands, glowing rivers, and creatures made of starlit fog. They were not monsters, Elira narrated. They were guardians of the boundary between worlds, and the gate was meant to be a bridge, not a prison. The vision shifted. A council of robed humans, the first holders, stood in a stone chamber. Their eyes were cold, calculating. They feared that bridge, feared losing control, so they twisted the gate into a seal. And when I tried to stop them... The memory showed Elira surrounded, her hands bound by glowing chains, the holders chanting a binding spell. They trapped me in the gate and erased the truth. They told the city I sacrificed myself to save them. The vision shattered. Lina's stomach twisted. So the holders betrayed everything. Elira nodded once, and they have maintained that lie for centuries. The eldest holder pointed a shaking finger at Elira. You don't understand what you're unleashing. The mist changes people. Your own descendant proves that. Elira's voice chilled. The mist does not change people. It reveals them. She looked pointedly at the holders. And you feared what you truly were.
Narrator. Chapter 23. The Father's Fate. Lina turned to her father, or the mist-twisted remnant of him. Dad, what happened to you in the Mist Realm? He hesitated. The mist around him flickered like torn fabric. I tried to reach Elira, and I did find her, but not as you see her now. I found only fragments, echoes, and the mist. It attached itself to my memories, to my fears, to the part of me that was trying to survive. His voice cracked. I am not entirely myself anymore, Lina, but the part that remembers you, that part will never leave. Lina's throat tightened painfully. Can you ever be whole again? He looked at Elira. Elira placed a gentle hand on his shifting shoulder. He can, if the gate is restored to what it was meant to be. If the truth is healed. The eldest holder stepped forward violently. We will not allow that. The Mist Realm does not belong here. Elira raised a hand and the ground trembled. No, it belongs with us. We were always meant to coexist. Lina looked between the two sides. Her father, her ancestor, the holders, the gate. Her entire world was unraveling.
The ground trembled beneath her feet. The air above her split open like shattering glass. At the center of the collapsing mist realm, the ancient rift widened, and the mist sovereign, an immense creature of fog, shadow, and stolen memories, began to drag itself through the gate. Its voice was not a sound, it was a pressure inside her bones. I am the mist. I am the gate, and your world will belong to me. For a moment, Lina felt her strength drain away. The cold, the fear, the weight of generations, all of it pressed on her at once. But then it happened. The silver markings on her skin ignited, first silver, then bright, then white-hot, and finally, they erupted into pure golden light. Cael gasped. The holders dropped to one knee in awe. Lina looked down at her hands. The glow pulsed like a heartbeat, ancient and alive. The first light, Elira's lost power, awakened inside her. The sovereign lunged. Its shape tore forward like a black storm, claws of mist stretching into blades meant to swallow the world. The realm itself screamed under the pressure of its coming. Lina raised one hand, just a single quiet gesture, and everything stopped. A shockwave of golden radiance burst from her, not as a beam, but as a sun igniting. The sovereign let out a scream so deep it shook the dying realm apart. Its claws dissolved, its shadow body split, its endless hunger faded to dust. One by one, every dark fragment of its existence was devoured by the light until there was nothing left but silence. A final, collapsing echo. The mist realm cracked. The dimension shuddered violently. Reality itself began pulling inward, folding like paper into a collapsing star. "Lina!" Cael shouted, reaching out. "You have to go, now!" The ground gave way, the sky fell inward, time twisted. Only one thing remained, a shimmering circular portal, glowing like a golden halo, the last doorway back to her world. Lina took one breath, one final look at the fading darkness, and then she leaped. She landed hard on stone, the floor of the old well beneath the city. Cold air rushed over her, real, human air. And in an instant, the mist vanished, pulled back, sucked away, gone. For the first time in centuries, sunlight broke through the sky above, warm, golden, alive. Cael climbed out behind her, breathless. "You didn't just close the gate. You erased it." Lina looked at her hands. The golden glow still flickered gently beneath her skin. "I finished what Elira started," she said softly. The city bells began to ring, not in warning, but in celebration. The first light had returned, and its bearer was home.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you in the next video.